It was the biggest bomb attack Turkey has witnessed.
Ambulance! Ambulance! Ambulance!
The single biggest blow to its stability in decades. And even the death toll is disputed, like so much else. The pro-Kurdish opposition says 128 people were killed. The government says at least 97. And given all this unfolded outside the capital's main railway station, that government's now accused of negligence at best and complicity at worst. Saturday's attack was upon this peace demonstration by Kurdish and leftist protesters. 2 explosions were followed by police tear-gassing survivors, which only fed the assumption that the state or dark forces within it were behind the violence, though Turkey's Prime Minister said today that so-called Islamic State was the prime suspect.
It was definitely a suicide bombing. We have strong evidence for that. DNA tests are being conducted, as most of the time suicide bombers are themselves ripped to pieces. I cannot give details, but we have the profiles of these suicide bombers. We know how they carried these explosives and how they arrived there.
This is the ID card of Abdurrahman Alagöz. Police say he was a member of a Turkish branch of IS who blew himself up in this attack in southern Turkey in July, which left over 30 Kurds dead. Turkish newspapers claim police are investigating whether his older brother Yunus may have struck in the capital itself. IS has a possible motive. By setting Kurds against Turks, it may be encouraging its twin enemies to go to war with each other instead. At this funeral of one of the Kurdish victims in Istanbul today, the mourners chanted that Turkey's president was the murderer, all this under the watchful gaze of riot police. In the mainly Kurdish southeast, you hear the same cry, the president's a murderer. Even if state-sanctioned massacre might seem far-fetched, people here believe it, and so this dangerously divided country is even more divided now.
Why are they carrying out these massacres against revolutionaries, socialists and those that are in favour of peace? Why do we never have a politician or member of government suffering from these attacks? This clearly shows who carried out this massacre.
Just up the road from that funeral, Turkish troops are advancing after airstrikes against the Kurdish PKK. The government's up for re-election in just 3 weeks' time, and by appearing strong, is not letting this national security crisis go to waste. For crisis this is. A country long polarised by its authoritarian president is now traumatised by this appalling attack and poisoned by the bitter recrimination which has followed.